What's going on, everyone? It's Rando. I'm back with this shotgun here that I bought. Panzer Arms EG200, 12 gauge semi-auto, 18.5-inch barrel, 3-inch chamber. Just wanted to show you that it is unloaded so we can feel safe about what we're doing today. Unloaded, nothing in the tube. I'm going to drop that bolt and I'm going to discharge in a safe direction. So what I set out to do was find the cheapest semi-auto shotgun I could find. I wanted to see how it would perform, stack up against the competition. Now, do I have the competition that's, thousands of dollars, even more hundreds of dollars than this one was? I think when I purchased this, it was a little over 200. No, I don't. But I watch a lot of videos, like you guys do too. And I wanted to just see how this would work as far as like a defensive type shotgun. And I guess I wasn't giving the gun enough credit. I didn't do, at first when I bought it, I threw some cheap like light clay loads through it, which I'm sure everyone else would, and it really didn't cycle. I mean, it would, and you're going to be seeing range footage throughout this. I'm going to be rolling it. We're going to jump to the range, and I'm going to talk to you from the range about it. But right now, we're just kind of doing a little bridge talk. But the rounds would actually hang up in there. They didn't have enough ass behind them to actually knock the next one in. So that's on me, because these shotguns probably need around 100 round of high brass break-in period. And truth be told, this really needs about 1,350 feet per second out of each round that goes through it to cycle just fine. And once I did use some more high velocity, even if they were just hunting rounds, like lead shot, like 7.5 or 8 that were 1,350, it cycled just fine, which you're gonna see. This did cycle slugs and buckshot just fine, no issues there. And it actually still has the light piston in it. Now it came with a heavy and a light one's still in it, put the heavy one in and threw a couple of slugs through it, cycled just fine as well. The gun does not feel cheap. For it being cheap, it actually doesn't feel cheap. It feels really good in the hand. The little bit of texturing that's on it just from the factory, it feels adequate to hold on to. The +1 extension I put on it, that's the only thing that kind of backs out a little bit after you really start shooting it a decent amount. But real easy to tighten. Didn't want to put Loctite on it because I want to be able to break it down easy and clean it if I need to. Really nice butt pad here. I feel that this is a fairly soft shooting 12 gauge for what it is. Length of pull on, it's not too bad. For me, I'm about 6 foot, and whenever I pull up to shoot, I don't feel that it's too far back, too far forward. I feel that it's good. My hand is not impeding my view whenever I'm trying to look down the sight. And while we're talking about the sight, the receiver is not drilled and tapped, but it could be. And if you want to look down at it, it has a higher post with just a painted white dot front sight. Easy to get eyes on, but I wouldn't say that this would be great to have in a dark situation. The bolt itself and the assembly inside of the gun, easy to break down. Excuse me, kind of reminds me of a CZ, to be honest with you. Like if they're going to clone something, like I've seen this on CZs. A long time ago, I had an Escort Magnum, which is another Turkish gun, and the internal workings of it look very similar to that Escort I had. So, I mean, it's not a clone of that, obviously, but I think it's definitely very similar to some CZs. The bolt release, a nice little square button, easy to get your finger on, easy to push down. Safety, just like pretty much every other gun. Very tactile, it's not slipping in and out. You can feel that it's there. From the factory, it comes with a swinging sling mount in the front, a post in the rear, and it also does come with a pistol grip, but I'm not putting that on there. I'd much rather be able to shoulder a firearm. I feel a shoulder's nice. I feel I'm able to throw this up here, get rounds down in it. I do not feel that the loading gate here, I don't feel it's like pinching me too much. It has, I don't know if you can see it has a nice red aluminum follower. So you can tell when you're on E. On it, I was sitting right around 6.5 pounds on it, so it's not so bad. Light gun itself, not sure the weight. I'll look it up and I will throw it up there for you. Overall digging it. Now let's hit the range. Still in there. Getting warmed up. But it's not an oven. Shouldn't have to warm it up for it to work good. Get another one. Work good with those. Let's just throw some more number 4 high brass through it, shall we? Yeah. Getting warmed up now. Moving on up. So 3-inch mags, waterfowl loads. These ones are going to hit pretty decent and should cycle just fine. As I thought. Let's see if anything's loosening up on it real quick before we keep moving. That's tight. Looks like this is backing out a little bit. And let's do some buckshot, because this type of gun, that's pretty much what you're going to be using it for anyway, I would assume. All right. Now that we got her warmed up, let's just see. So again, Panzer's recommendation is muzzle velocity of 1350. Well, I guess what I found, some 1350 game, just regular high brass game loads. Let's see how those work, shall we? And this barrel is too hot to touch. Like it's gonna burn you. Which I guess I could kind of expect. So let's see how these do. Let's see if we can fly through these. This pin right here in the trigger assembly keeps wanting to kind of push out, want to back out on me. So I have to keep pushing that through, back in, and it's not like the round count is insane. I think I just put 75 rounds. This is the only thing I had with me out at the range, so there we go. Back in. Good, isn't it? So regardless of how great this shotgun shoots, one thing that I'd like to test is the spread of it. Meaning with this cylinder choke in here, there is just the straight wall of the cylinder. There's no constriction. Constriction meaning how tight you make the pattern of it. So if you're going to be shooting slugs and buckshot, you should, I'm going to just run the cylinder choke that comes with it and keep it in there all the time so I can run whatever. So let's just see what it patterns like, because that's a huge important factor whenever you're looking at, like a defensive type shotgun. And I have some double up buck. So let's throw that in here. And I'm going to shoot at 25 yards. And I'm going to take you up and we're just going to see the spread of it on your target. Okay, so we're up at the target now. And remember like the 3 3/4 inch double up buck, there's 9 pellets in it, but I have 1, 2, I got 3, there's 4, and it actually looks like the wad itself hit there because it's like a perfect cutout and might be sitting back in here. And the rest of the pellets, if I had to look at trying to say there's fresh ones, there might be one down here. And I'd say that's about it. So unless some of them stayed with the wad, I don't know if all of them actually made it there. And that's only 25 yards. And again, trying to be a defensive shotgun with an 18.5 inch barrel. Let's send a slug at 25 yards and see what our results are with that. This is again where the wad went through from our 2 3/4 inch double aught buck. And right here is where I hit it with the slug. I was aiming right here, but still not bad. So definitely able to be on target at 25 yards with slugs. I wanted to come out, and now I'm not doing any major tests through it to where I'm looking at it and saying, hey, I'm gonna, fill it with mud or cement and make sure it still works. No, I took it out and shot it like you're probably gonna buy it and take it out and shoot it, because I had to buy this with my own money. Nobody's sending it to me to try out and say, hey, see if you can break this. Well, guess what? If I break it, that was my money. And if you break it, that's your money. And I know we all know how hard it is to get, some service on things afterwards. Now, I will say I contacted Panzer whenever I first got this to just kind of get an overall spec of, hey, what is going to shoot through this? And they were like, as far as feet per second and ounce wise, so we're not going to have too many failures to feed cycle. And they got back to me very quickly. So I believe their customer service is going to get back with you. But do I want to have to send in a gun that I just got because I destroyed it? Because no, you want it to function. And I'm very certain I could dump water on this or some dirt and it's still gonna work. I mean, I hunt with shotguns all the time in a duck blind. There's mud, water, dirt, snow, ice on those things all the time, and my shotguns function fine. And that's not even torture testing it. That's just hunting. That's just living my life and having fun. So do I think that this could go through some similar tests? Yeah, I do, without even having to try to torture it. I burned down some rounds through it the other day to where this barrel burned my hand. So I know that it can take the heat. I know it's going to get hot, and I know it's going to keep functioning. So do I trust this with my life? Probably not, to be honest, because trusting something with my life means every round that I put through this, I know is going to go off. It's going to go off, and it's going to cycle just fine. Nothing's going to get hung up. Well, guess what? Every round probably won't do that through this gun, because if you put some light rounds in it, well, guess what? They're going to get hung up in there because it needs a little bit faster, like 1,350 feet per second, maybe 1 ounce. Definitely a little over would help. So no, not with my life, because with my life means I'm going to be able to take it out and I'm going to be able to harvest game with it and provide for my family as well as protect myself. So if you want something that's going to do that, go buy a pump. This is about this gun. This is the semi. But do I trust it to go out, have fun with? Probably set it somewhere, maybe make it a truck gun and think it's going to function if I only have some slugs and double aught buck through here. Heck yeah, it's going to function and it's going to hammer every time. I can almost guarantee that. So thank you, Panzer, because this is going to work. I want to get their M4. Panzer's M4, because I have a feeling that thing would be a good hitter too, and I think it'd be a great tool to have at a good price, which is why I wanted this. Got some spare change lying around, sure, go grab a shotgun, have some fun with it. It's a great tool to learn with. It's awesome. I bet you could hunt with this. 18.5-inch barrels, legal to hunt with. Pop this off, put the plug back in it to do some shell restriction. You'll be out shooting some squirrels, shooting some ducks, maybe even harvesting some deer, because you could, shoot your slugs or buckshot through it. Clips of shooting some buckshot and a slug through it at about 25 yards. You can see it's not too bad for what it is. Up close and personal is definitely going to be a little bit better. I have the cylinder choke in it, and it came with a full and improved cylinder, I believe, but I'm going to keep the cylinder in for shooting slugs and buckshot and stuff like that, just so I can throw whatever through it and not have any issues. That's up to you what you want to throw in it. I'm not going to offer recommendations. I just know that I don't really want any constriction, and sometimes, let's say I'm running some random stuff through this and maybe it gets too constricted. I don't want to, jeopardize the integrity of the barrel, because that's coming back at me. So let's be safe while we're out there. And I know that you're seeing some failures to cycle where the shell might be hung up in there, maybe sticking out again. That was with those super light loads, like the big brick packs that you buy cheap. But as you get different rounds through it, it is functioning just fine. Gun's not bad to break down. Got to make sure you get all the packing grease off of it whenever you first get it. But digging it. A little over $200 shotgun. Hoping that I get it, and actually whenever I got it, I was kind of hoping that it would let me down. Sorry, I don't mean to be negative, but there's a few positive videos that I saw on this and reviews, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, is it really that good? Or are these people kind of like sugarcoating a little bit, really only firing the stuff that cycles well? Because in the videos, I'm seeing this thing hammer, and I'm not seeing it get jammed up at all, have any failures to cycle, feed, or fully eject. I'm going to show you all those, and you're going to see those. You're going to see those failures that I had. but that was also during the break-in period. Maybe those people, whenever they made their videos, went through a full break-in period on it and then just started going. I wanted to show you that, and I do believe that after the break-in period, it is functioning well. So I don't feel that I have any issues with that. I'm still not going to try to shoot those really light loads through it because I don't think the shotgun's made for that, even with the light piston in it, and that's okay. And if I didn't say, it comes with a heavy piston, but I have the light one in. And the heavy one is clearly marked. I did cycle a few rounds through that. Slugs and buckshot cycled just fine. But I'm leaving the light one in it because I've been shooting some of the low recoil buck, and it cycles flawlessly through it. Overall digging it. Go get yourself one. Go get yourself something to have some fun with. Go plink around. Go bust some clays with your buddies. Blow up some jugs, watermelons, whatever fruit you feel is offending you that day. Go out and shoot it. I don't care. But go out and have fun. Be safe while you're doing it. And again, thanks for watching. Be safe, be kind, God bless. Check Panzer out. They're pretty decent. Take care. Catch you next time.